Hello guys, TM Grunty here, and this is my first attempt of trying to add audio commentary to a past match. I chose this game because it happened very recently and it's a good way to describe my thought process during the game. The team agreed to go to A and B at the start of the battle, and looking at the enemy lineup, the most dangerous ships for me in this battle are obviously the Essex and the Fletcher and the Loyang if I get too close to them. I'm in the Kagero. I'm using a 15-point captain, bringing down my concealment to 5.4 kilometers, and I'm using the fast short-range F3 torpedoes with a range of only 8 kilometers. I decided to head towards the B cap, hoping my friendly Fletcher would follow me and provide support.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Our CV is doing a great job scouting the B cap and detects the enemy Fubuki and unfortunately the Khab as well. And to make things even worse, right now it also detects the enemy Loyang. I fire one small spread and one wide spread in the direction of the Loyang, hoping that he doesn't stop behind the island. I notice the smoke, which I assume is the Khab smoke that is trying to stop behind the island to cap. I can't contest the cap versus those ships, so I'm just leaving it for now. To my surprise, the Khab wasn't hiding in smoke and is sailing in a straight line, catching the torpedoes I fired at the Loyang, rewarding me with a first blood medal.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship. We'll go.
Watching the minimap, I decided that we have enough ships at the A cap and they should handle it without any problems. So I decided the best thing for me to do would get back into the B cap and try to contest it and cap it for my team.
That was a great battle. I'm not able to help you.
I try to stay as far on the outside of the capsule as possible, so I have a chance to spot the Loyang before she spots me.
Attention, reporting the target position.
Unfortunately enough, this wasn't the case and we spot each other at the same time, so I'll have to try to get my distance as soon as possible again. Those torpedoes are purely for the fact that the Loyang doesn't have a chance to turn and follow me and try to catch me, but instead he has to run away.
Critical engine damage.
I find myself in a pretty dangerous situation right now, with a hipper as close as 6 kilometers to my side. I didn't expect those torpedoes to hit, but I figured out it can't hurt to fire them just in case the hipper would sail in a straight line. But as predicted, the hipper turns right after I fired those torpedoes, though they will obviously miss. I hoped that my team would deal with the Hipper and I could go back into the B cap again. But as you can see, the Loyang is still in there, so there is no chance for me to get inside. Luckily for me, our CV is helping me out, landing a nice bomb drop on the Loyang. As you can see, the Loyang doesn't have a captain with survivability expert, so I decided to fight it. I popped my smoke generator, hoping the CV would still spot for me and I can land some good shells into the side of the Loyang. Unfortunately for me, he decides to fire his torpedoes inside my smoke, so he forces me to move out, and I just fire my torpedoes in his direction, hoping he would beach there at the island.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
I wait for the torpedoes to pass and then decide to turn around and head back straight inside the Khab.
Our team has taken the lead.
I am finally able to get capping points on the B cap, and while doing so I'm already searching for a battleship to fire my torpedoes at on the C cap.
All stations, provide fire support. Will go. Received. I'm on it.
I noticed the Bismarck at 10 kilometers heading into my direction and decided why not hope he keeps his course and fire my torpedoes at him.
Engine boost deactivated.
As I saw the plane, I thought those torpedoes were not gonna land, as he must have obviously seen this and changed his direction. I don't know if he was just tunnel visioned or he didn't saw the torpedoes or whatever, but as it turns out, he didn't change his course, and those torpedoes will land right into his broadside. He barely survives my torpedoes, and as I'm in a pretty safe position, I decided to fire my guns trying to finish him. And I got a fire. Our CV sends his bombers towards the Bismarck, finishing him off. My plan was to go between those islands to the sea cap, but as it turns out, the enemy Fletcher is right there, preventing me to do so. I have to turn south instead, facing those heavily damaged enemy ships, which my team will finish very shortly. At this point the match is pretty much over. Our team is controlling the A and the B cap, and the remaining enemy ships are all at sea with nowhere to go.
Our victory is in sight.
My plan now is to go into the sea cap, trying to get more experience by capping and maybe getting a few more torpedo hits on one of the enemy battleships. I find the enemy North Carolina there and have to admit that I played this pretty bad and could have done way more damage to him. I see that his guns are pointing to the left side, so I'm trying to get on his right so I can use my guns without getting shot back. I use my guns, setting him on fire, and launch my first torpedo spread right on the marker, which was fine. What I did wrong in this engagement was firing my second spread of torpedoes to the left. As I was spotted, he naturally turned into me, making those torpedoes all miss him. So what I should have done instead is holding onto my second set of torpedoes for a little bit, or launch them towards the right side. Nevertheless, North Carolina is taking massive damage and gets sunk anyway.
Torpedoes, astern!
I'm trying to get the sea cap before the battle ends on points, but with the enemy Essex dive bombers being so close, there is almost no chance for me to achieve this. And as you can see, they hit me, and that's pretty much it.
Torpedo, ship is on fire!
I'm able to dodge the torpedo bombers and manage to land a few shells into the enemy carrier before the battle ends on points. I'm pretty happy with this battle, as I did almost 124k damage and sunk 2 enemy ships, including that Khab. I hit 7 out of the 36 torpedoes I launched, 2 hitting the enemy Khab, 4 into the Bismarck, and finally 1 into the North Carolina.